Good morning, everybody. Today is a very exciting presentation. People may be aware that the theme at IDC Win this year is Evolving for the Future, Technology-Enabled, Value-Driven. So today, I'm really pleased to introduce Evan Morgan. Evan is a young-ish entrepreneurial person who gave up his own insurance practice to deploy this solution, which is extremely elegant, solving a very complex problem that has left us all avoiding the issue of individual health and dental plans because of its complexity. He literally has simplified it down to a couple of clicks of your mouse, few clicks of your mouse, where you can produce a market survey of health and dental plans, individual health and dental plans across the country. It's an outstanding solution. Stay tuned in Evan's presentation for the IDC Win preferred pricing that we've negotiated. I think this presentation today as well makes a statement for us as your MGA with regard to our commitment to technology and innovation, in that we very quickly saw the potential of what Evan has built here so wonderfully and continues to build out terrific functionality on a pretty agile and frequent basis. But we're really proud to be able to bring solutions like this to our advisor base and to be continuously engaged in seeking solutions like this. So with that, I'm going to leave you with Evan for what we believe is an outstanding presentation and opportunity for our advisors.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, David. Thank you so much. And for saying I'm youngish, I do appreciate that a lot. So first off, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here today and to be able to do a presentation sharing my platform. As David mentioned, my name is Evan Morgan. I am the founder of CompareHealth, and I'm so excited to see the big turnout here today. Just before we get started, I want to give a very special shout out and thank you to IDC Win for making today happen. So to David, Marnie, Lisa, to Rosario and Eric and everyone else behind the scenes who made today happen. It is such an honor to be here today. So one thing I do want to say is I want to give a very, today's meeting or presentation is very special to me as well. So as David mentioned, I was an advisor and I was one for 8 years. And this idea came from a problem I faced as an advisor selling personal health insurance plans. And actually it was helping my mom retire and the difficulties I experienced quoting, comparing different plans, seeing how frustrated my parents got. And I thought there had to be a better way. So I thought a comparison platform would be the answer to it. So I actually built a prototype. It started as a simple spreadsheet. I'm kind of a spreadsheet geek. And if any of you love to build spreadsheets, naturally, you also love showing them off. So after showing it to a couple of friends and family and getting their positive feedback, one of the first sets of eyes to see it, other than in the insurance industry, was Rosario. And Rosario had some very uplifting and positive words saying, you know what, Evan, I really think you're solving a problem here that's not unique to you. Other advisors face it when they're selling it. Canadians experience that when they buy it. And it's because of people like Rosario who were so optimistic and really saw the vision of what I was trying to accomplish is part of the reason that I'm here today. So the fact that I'm here now presenting for the same or for the MGA that Rosario works for is pretty darn cool. And it makes it feel full circle. One thing I do want to say is IDC Win is a very forward-thinking MGA. My model actually began focused on going after MGAs, and it's changed a lot since then. But right from the beginning, dealing with, Rosario and dealing with everyone on the Workplace Solutions team, it was a different experience right from the beginning where they saw the value and the mission of me trying to change the way advisors sell personal health insurance right from the beginning and sharing that level of passion and what I'm trying to do here. So again, this is a very special presentation for me. Today's agenda is very simple. I want to talk to you a little bit more about CompareHealth and the problem it solves and why you should care about this problem, because I know we probably have some thoughts about what we think about personal health insurance and it being a product you don't typically sell. Then we'll go into a quick overview and a demo of the platform where I'll walk you through very high-level functionality on how it works. And then at the end, like David mentioned, I'll go over how you can get started today with the single biggest discount I have ever offered on CompareHealth. So for you being affiliated with IDC Win, you are entitled to receive this discount, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. If you do have questions, there's a Q&A box. Now, I'm on my very small laptop screen here, so I probably won't be able to address them right as they come in because I'm full screen right now, but I promise I'm going to hang out afterwards, answer any questions that I've missed, and then I'll also provide my contact details in case it's any question that you want to leave offline. Now, I know a lot of you here are probably thinking at this very moment, I don't sell a lot of personal health insurance. So why would I even consider paying for a platform, paying yet another subscription for a product I don't typically sell? And trust me, I've heard this a lot. I know it's not a commonly sold product. And a lot of advisors don't really focus on it. It doesn't pay a lot of commission. And anytime I talk to new advisors, this seems to be a typical knee-jerk response that I hear is I don't sell a lot of it. But I really want to focus on this statement, especially if you're thinking about it, and ask you the question, why not? Why do you not sell or make it more an apparent and proactive part of your business? I mean, there's no shortage of opportunities. Personal health insurance works really well for those retiring and coming off of a group benefits plan. If they're self-employed, especially sole proprietors, in most cases, it'll pay you a trailer. And yes, it may not be a lot, but every dollar adds up. Chances are, if they need personal health insurance, they're going through a life change, and that could open up the door for cross-selling opportunities. It keeps the business all with you instead of you saying, I will help you with all of this, but you got to deal with someone else. Advisors and clients, obviously, or clients would obviously just want to work with one advisor. And this idea of this game of here's the premium that I pay, I hope when I annualize it, I get the same value out. And I know that game is played with personal health insurance, depending on the circumstances, client situation, province and plan, and other variables. There are some plans out there that can really deliver value on those predictable expenses. And this isn't even counting in the insurance piece. Now, this doesn't really answer the question, though, of why don't advisors sell more personal health insurance with the opportunities being there? Well, I have a few theories. The first one is you do not get the same level of support in your business when you sell personal health insurance compared to life insurance, yet it's held to the same regulatory standards as selling life insurance. With life insurance, you're dealing with a need based on one type of claim, death. Personal health insurance, you could be dealing with numerous types of claims and sometimes getting a long laundry list of benefits, and that can extend the sales cycle. There's a regulatory requirement, the needs-based sales practices outlined by the CLHIA. You need a reasons why letter with a personal health insurance policy sale. And I'm sure a lot of you here are just realizing you need a reasons why letter when you sell personal health insurance. You may have learned something new here today. With comparison softwares prior to CompareHealth, there isn't anything versus life insurance. There's multiple options out there to help you sell it. And you also get extensive back office support. With personal health insurance, from what I've seen, and this is very common, you're getting an email with a couple brochures, maybe some rate sheets, but you're sort of left to fend for yourself on navigating all that info, taking the time, putting it together, and then hopefully getting that sale. And with life insurance, you're compensated appropriately for the time and efforts it takes to sell. Personal health insurance, you're seeing small payout on it. Now, looking at this to the untrained eye, it must mean that selling personal health insurance is easy, especially when it comes to comparisons. Well, the reality is it's not. This looks like a Christmas quilt. You have so many different pieces. You have plans that cover some benefits, others that don't, some that cover optional benefits if you have to price it in to meet the client's needs. And so my question to the question I asked earlier is, how are you supposed to know all this? No one's a specialist selling this stuff. So how are you supposed to know which plan covers what? And this is just the plan design. On top of that, now you got to figure out all these different rules. What are the maximums? What are the waiting periods? Can you waive it? And it's a headache. Again, how are you supposed to know all of this unless you're a specialist? Now, I do have a photo of a specialist that focuses on just selling personal health insurance. They're unicorns in this industry. They simply do not exist. Just don't tell my 5-year-old niece I said that unicorns don't exist. So what I'm saying here is you don't need to be a specialist to use a comparison platform like CompareHealth when selling personal health insurance. This is for advisors that are looking to streamline their business process when these opportunities do come up. Now, speaking of not being a specialist, here are a couple different quirks or interesting facts, at least I think so, and I hope you do too, about selling personal health insurance. So first one is the order of entering information can matter and can sometimes adjust the price. What do I mean? So let's say you have a couple, you have a husband and wife, for example, and they differ in age, maybe 45 for the husband, 40 for the wife. For some plan, if you put the 45-year-old as the client instead of the 40-year-old as the client, that could actually mean that that couple pays more. How are you supposed to know that? Some plans expire. Most plans, you pay the premium until the plan is canceled. It'll stay with you as long as premiums are paid. But there are plans out there that expire, very similar to like a term life insurance. The definition of dependent can vary. It's not always your traditional group definition that goes to age 24 if post-secondary. Some providers do not recognize a dependent that is 21 or older, even if they're a full-time student. Definition of a year can vary. It's not always a calendar year. It could be a policy year. And there's one provider for some plans where the definition of a year for the exact same plan can differ depending on the province you're in. And also waiting periods. You see it with benefits like dental. In some circumstances, waiting periods can be waived. Do you see it in the brochures? No, you see it in the policy contract and application. Again, it goes back to my question, how are you as an advisor supposed to know all of this and making sure you're following the regulatory requirements of needs-based selling, take into account all these different sources without spending an imbalanced amount of time, because at the end of the day, you're running a business? Well, all of these problems is basically the reason why I came up with CompareHealth. So I call CompareHealth your heavy lifting buddy that sits in your corner and helps you when these opportunities, however few, come up. Now, with CompareHealth, it runs hundreds of checks based on some very simple inputs, and it's going to provide you an output of different plans, and I'll show you how this looks in the demo. Now, CompareHealth is available in 9 provinces, so I'm not in Quebec yet because it is an English-only platform, as well as not in the northern provinces and territories. And this represents 90 individual health and dental plans in total, and this includes your replacement or conversion plans from 12 providers, and the over 200 ways that these plans can be built. Now, for example, there's one provider and you can piece the different health, dental, and drug, and there's over 18 ways plans can be built, different permutations. So that's what I mean by combo on here. Now, on the right side are the providers I have, and I'm continually adding more providers to this list, so it's not going to stay static to these. If there are providers on here that you are not currently contracted with, this is where I believe you would need to talk to your MGA about it, business development executive, I think is the title, but yeah, you would need to defer. I don't assist with that. But if on the flip side, if there are providers on here that you would prefer not to show on a comparison for any particular reason, you can select the provinces and providers that you see. Now, don't just take my word for it. I am very blessed to say that I have advisors using my platform across Canada. And for advisors like Chris, they're saying it's helping them in their sale by reducing their sales cycle, increasing the number of sales they make, because it's giving their clients the information they need to make an informed decision. Now, CompareHealth is not a replacement to the info you see to like the brochures and policy contracts, obviously. This is basically a much better version of building the different spreadsheets that I've seen advisors do and taking lots of time to do that. And I've taken some excerpts from Jamie's very nice testimonial talking about that, looking at how the financial payoff hasn't made sense, of taking time, of putting together a full comparison. Now, if you, as the advisor, are doing this, this is an opportunity cost that you could be spending doing something else. But for other, if you're delegating this to, say, an assistant, and they're taking an hour or two, and I've heard it can sometimes take longer than that, there's an actual cost associated with putting together those comparisons. Now, with CompareHealth, I perform daily checks on all the information. I have a very thorough and rigorous process. The nice thing with personal health insurance, this information is publicly available, and I do check it on a daily basis. Now, with that being said, personal health insurance is a very predictable product to know when providers are going to change things, and it's typically the same month every year. And with that, sometimes there's exceptions where they might make slight changes, and I do catch those. And any changes I make get instantly pushed to all of my users. You don't need to download a new software update because everything is accessible through a website. I cross-reference information. So this has been hundreds of hours of curating info from either policy contracts, websites, brochures. So I'll note things like, can waiting periods be waived? And I'll also note discrepancies because sometimes providers aren't consistent across their different channels, because sometimes that can be confusing, not only sell a product, but if you're buying it as well. And then with CompareHealth, you will have access to all new features that I'm going to be rolling out for your subscription tier. So my version 1 versus where it is today has changed a lot thanks to feedback from my users. And I'm always listening to what you love about the platform and where I can deliver more value. So features like shortlisting plans, picking provinces and providers, integrating your broker link, exporting reports. These are all features I have added since my version 1 because of feedback I'm getting from advisors. Now, there is one feature in particular that basically every single advisor has asked for, which I don't have until now. And even non-users or future users have asked as well, is can clients run their own comparisons? So up until this point, CompareHealth is an advisor controlling platform, just like other comparison platforms out there. But I am very excited to announce that by the end of this week, I'm going to be officially rolling out, I've been working hard behind the scenes, the ability for clients to run their own quotes using a feature I call the client quoter. Now, this does require a specific subscription tier, which you're still entitled to receive the discount. We'll talk about it, but they can with this client quoter feature. So the client quoter, the way that it works is you get a URL. That URL is shared, and I'll show you a few different avenues. And it will have your name in the URL, so you can share it. And it allows clients to instantly quote and compare up to 10 what I call exact match plans. So plans that meet the requirements that clients say are important to them. You can select the provinces and providers that are shown. So you're not showing provinces you're not licensed in, because that wouldn't be good. And you can also select the providers as well. You can also integrate your broker link to show an apply button with your broker link. Now, I'll preface it by saying that's all it does. It takes you to the finish line. Client Quoter, CompareHealth doesn't recommend product, but this is something advisors want. So I've integrated that, and you can choose whether or not you want to show it. You will receive an email notification when someone fills it out, and they can only view an output when they've input their contact info, just so you're kept informed anytime someone uses your client quoter. And if they need help, so maybe they want to see particular filters applied that maybe they didn't have access to, because it's a very simplified version, which is good in this case, you have full access to their quote right within your advisor account. Now, here are a couple, I think, very exciting opportunities for that URL. So instantly, you could throw it in your email signature. You could put it on your website as a button or as a link. Now, if you are a group-focused advisor, which a lot of my existing users are, there's a very exciting opportunity here to go to all your plan administrators and say, hey, when a member terminates off of this group, and you have that fiduciary duty to include this email saying, here are the rights, including the ability to look at individual health coverage, you can now throw in this link, ask them to throw in this link right there, and it allows them to do their own research without you having to be involved right from step one. And then you can also share this link on your social media channels if you have any of them. So with the same tier that includes the client quoter, you will also get access to a social media library that I've worked on. And this is just one example, a funny play on words. And I do have other examples of this. If you want access to the template, you can. It's white labeled, so you're not going to see CompareHealth branding on this at all. So you would, be able to customize it. So you would have full access to this and use it, and hopefully get people's attention to complete. And I got one question on here. Are reasons why letter is required? And the answer is yes. So the CLHIA does require a reasons why letter with a personal health insurance sale. So to access the platform, you would go to comparehealth.ca. So you don't need to download anything to your computer. I just want to make sure I'm on the right window here. So on comparehealth.ca, and to log in when you have your subscription account in the top right, you would see login. So I'm going to log into my account here. Now, just for the purposes of this demo, I'll show you the advisor controlling piece. The client quoter is going to be launched at the end of this week, but you would access it if you have that to your right over here, and you would read a disclaimer, get the URL, and then you'd be off to the races from there. So this is what you would see when you log in. So along the left side here, this is where you would be spending a majority of your time being able to create a quote. If you need to access a quote, either through the client quoter or one that you've created in the past, that's under quote management. Provinces and providers is where you specify the provinces and providers you want to show or not show in that case, and integrate your broker links. Payments and reports down here is where you would see any particular payments. Staff advisor is a feature I'm going to be removing, so I'll ignore that. And then changes to your account. And then in the top right is where you can upgrade, downgrade, and cancel your subscription, which I hope you don't do, but it is all your options are available up here on the right side. So let's run a quote here. So it's a very simple questionnaire that you would input. So let's do a quote in Ontario. So I'm just going to input January 1, 2000. And you can input information for a spouse and up to 4 dependents. This question down here is your client about to leave a health and dental plan. So I'm going to say yes and input a date. And what this is going to do is determine whether or not it's going to price in those conversion or replacement plans. It also takes into account the number of days if you input a past date on there, how many days have passed. So if it's outside of that 60 or 90-day window, depending on the plan, it won't show it. So what you're going to see on the output are plans that people qualify for based on the minimum and maximum age of the plan for the client, the spouse, and dependents, full-time student versus not. Again, you just got to plug in the info, and then CompareHealth does run those calculations. So this is the client details. Down here are ways you can filter down that list. So think about when you want to look for a particular type of hotel on Expedia. So you would pick and choose things like, well, for me, I want free breakfast and a pool. So those are my filters. Your yeses are filters like that. So the more yeses you enter, the fewer the results. No plan covers everything, as you saw on that grid. So usually you want to identify the things that are most important to a client. So I'm just going to pick a couple here. You could always go back and change it, which is nice. So in this case, I'm picking drugs, vision care, massage, psychologist, at least 15 days of travel outside of Canada, and basic dental. Now that disclaimer that pops up there, basically it says that the client's province, Ontario, the client's date of birth, January 1st, 2000, and the client's sex, male, that information locks. That's what binds it to this particular quote ID that was just generated. Everything else, though, you can modify, because I know as part of the sales cycle, you're going to get the question of what happens if I add or remove a spouse or add or remove dependents, or I change certain plan preferences. How does that affect the pricing and the ranking? So you can do that. You just can't change the client's province, date of birth, and sex. And notice on there, I didn't collect any info like the name, email, phone number, and that's by design and for privacy reasons. I'm only collecting what's necessary to run the quote. So now what it's doing is it's looking at all the different providers in Ontario, and it's not just looking at relevant providers, it's also looking at plan design. So some providers may have the same plan that's built a little bit differently depending on the province you're in. Manulife FlexCare is one example of that. So you're going to see relevant plan designs. So this is the output that you'll see. And notice it took about a minute there. It's doing a lot behind the scenes. So usually what I say is when you click submit, just be patient with it. Good things are happening behind the scenes. So on the output here, you have all the info that was input, all the yes preferences. And then I always like to look at this info down here. So for this particular client, 101 plan designs have been identified. So some of these plan-based health plans might be the same. It just means there might be different optional benefits priced in. This is part of that plan combo. And then for exact match plan designs, 46 have been identified. So 46 out of 101 plans meet all of these yes requirements that the client said was important. So the difference in that, what is that, about 55 plans, means it's missing at least one yes requirement. Now, to see what these 46 plans are, you would navigate over here to the exact match list. So what the exact match list is here is it'll show you all the plans sorted by price, and you have the plan name. So if you click on any of these plans, you'll be redirected to the provider website just out of convenience. The middle column here will show you plan design or the cost breakdown per month and the plan design that needs to be built to meet the client's needs. So for example, I said in this quote, client wants 15 days of travel. Well, Canada Life, their product has a 30, 60, and 90-day option. So because the client only wants 15 days, it shows 30 days. Same thing here, Manulife FlexCare, first 9 days are included. So in order to have 15 days covered, it's picking the first travel option because the other one's too long. Sun Life's dental plan, for example, in order to have basic dental covered, which the client says is important, this is an optional benefit, so on and so forth. And you're going to see that as you go down this list. Now, this is the total price. You have, information related to details, when rates could change, plan maximums, how a year is defined. But the main question you're probably asking is, well, how do these benefits actually compare? Well, this is where you would actually see it in the exact match comparisons. So these are the same plans in the same order, sorted by total price. And now you're seeing the information, if medicals are required. And now you're seeing details related to prescription drugs, vision, paramedical practitioners, etc. And then, not all of these plans here cover every single paramedical practitioner, for example, but all the ones on this list are relevant to the client's selections. Now from here, what can be done is this information can be shortlisted. So if, let's say, the client wants to see 2 particular plans, so let's just pick this one, compare and compare. You can add it to your own list. The other way you can add it to your list is by clicking this Add Plan button right here. And what this will show are all the plans sorted by provider and product, and you'll get a very high-level overview on all the different plans. So you'll notice some of them have blue text, some have red text. The blue text means it meets every single yes requirement. The red text means it's missing a desired benefit. So in this case, as an example, I'll click on this one, go to your comparisons, and now you're seeing here, this plan doesn't meet the client's requirements because they said they wanted prescription drugs, and this plan doesn't cover it. Then what you can do from here is you can export the report. So you can click on export and then export it to either PDF or Excel. And you can shortlist as many plans as you want, but to export it, it's a maximum of 3 by PDF, and it'll look very similar to this. Or you can do Excel, which is strictly the actual data. And then there are some tools. If you only want to show plans that don't have a medical questionnaire, you can filter that. And then you can also filter by providers as well. And again, you're only seeing the providers that are relevant here to Ontario. So you're not going to see, certain Blue Crosses that aren't available in Ontario. All right. So that covers the very high-level overview. So basically, the client quoter, it'll look very similar to the questionnaire. It won't have CompareHealth's logo on it, but it'll give a very simplified questionnaire. It'll have about 5 or 6 questions on there that can be chosen from, and then they would be seeing something that looks similar to this. All right, so let me switch screens and then talk about the next step, if this is something you want to do. All right, actually, that's a good point. Based on the requirements, I did not see the Manulife Follow Me plan. So good point. So let's go back. So if I search Follow Me, you'll see on here, Follow Me Enhance Plus is included, and the Premier plan is listed further down. So I just didn't scroll far enough to when it actually shows the total price. But if you actually want to see it on the list over here, let's look at Follow Me as an example. So this is Manulife. You can actually show apples to apples those plans. So the reason why it didn't show the basic plan and the enhanced plan is because those don't cover basic dental. And now you're able to see those plans apples to apples, as well as the pricing and the cost breakdown. You're very welcome. Okay, so let me switch back here. Good observation, though. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, so how do you get the discount if this is something you want to do? So like I said, I'm offering the single biggest discount that I've ever offered for CompareHealth, and you get this discount for being affiliated with IDC Win, and this will provide a 40% off discount on the monthly subscription cost by means of a promo code. Now you get this discounted price for eternity. Well, basically however long you keep the subscription tier. So if you do make any changes to your account, that will affect your ability to keep your discount. Now, if hypothetically speaking, down the road, the promotion goes away for new subscribers with IDC, as long as you continue to keep the existing account, the promotion doesn't go away. However, if you cancel your account and reinstate, upgrade your account, downgrade your account to a different tier, you are losing out on that discount in that case. You can change your account later, but you do lose out on the discount. So if you start with one subscription tier and then want to upgrade in your account, that promotion does not carry over. So it's best to pick the subscription tier that's best for you. There is no sign-up commitment. It is a purely month-by-month subscription. There is no annual amount. Now, you can cancel at any time. Again, no commitments. You don't get any partial refunds if you cancel during your subscription month. Also, I do not allow people to jump on and jump off the plan. So that's the trade-off with it being monthly, but I have priced it accordingly. The login, it is one subscription per advisor. The only exception where another user could log into your account is if it's to one support staff. And this is where they're the ones solely using it, running comparisons, creating reports for you, then that would be fine and be within the terms of use. And if you ever have any questions or ideas, I am always available. Call, text, email anytime. I don't like things sitting in my inbox, and I want to make sure that you have all the information that you need. So I will get back to you promptly. I have been known to jump on some pretty late night Zoom calls for those people who need some technical support. Very happy to do that. I mean, this is the joy of running a software startup. So here are the two different subscription tiers. So there's two, the starter tier and the complete package. And what you'll get with them are what are called certain number of generated quotes. So that example we did counted as one generated quote. But if I were to go back into that quote with that quote ID and modify spouse, dependents, plan preferences, that does not count as a new quote. And you can do that an unlimited number of times for 60 days. So it's not like every time you modify it, it's counting as a new quote. So you get 5 per month. It's a use it or lose it. There's no carryover, but for a majority of advisors, this is more than enough. This will give you access to that advisor controlling platform that you saw. You have full choice over the provinces and providers, but you don't get access to that feature launching later this week where clients can run their own quotes. I am also launching a program where people who are interested in personal health insurance, I'll be referring them to subscribers of my platform that hold the complete package. There's going to be no cost initially for those leads, and I'm still figuring out, it's still in beta, so very early stage. But when I do roll that out down the road, that would be something I would be giving to subscribers with the complete package. And then the complete package, as the name suggests, here are the number of quotes you get, so it's significantly more. Anytime somebody completes the Klein quota, that does count as a response as well. If you need to access it, again, you can modify it. It's not going to count as a new one. And then part of the beta program as well. So here's the pricing. So for the starter tier and the complete package tier, the red pricing on the far right is the normal price that you will see if you go to comparehealth.ca. And then the colored text red underneath is what you would get with the 40% off. Now, it is payment by credit card. It's month by month. Taxes are not included in this amount. So it is based on the province that you enter. And please ensure that when you do sign up, you are using the right promo code. Otherwise, it will revoke access. So if you want the complete package, for example, make sure to apply the IDC package, one word, caps lock, promo code on the payment screen. And I'll show you what that looks like. So if you want to subscribe and get started, you would go to comparehealth.ca, and the screen at the bottom is what you'll see. Because of these changes that I'm rolling out later this week, if you decide you want to subscribe, let's say next week, or anytime Friday or afterwards, you would just have to add /advisors to the end of it. As long as you see the screen on the bottom, you're in the right place. And you can either click on pricing here, or you can scroll down to the payment section. All right. Excellent. How do we apply for the discount? So I just got a question here. So hopefully that helps. I'll walk you through the step-by-step right now on how to apply. And I can see the whole screen to identify the discount. Yes, I can definitely include it. If you stick around after the presentation, I will put it into the chat. So let's see. Can you start with the starter and then upgrade to a 30 quote plan? Do you still get it? So great question. With the way that this subscription works is anytime you make changes to your account, it does not carry over. So make sure if you want to get the 40%, you start with the complete package tier. Because if you go from the $12 a month starter and then upgrade, you're paying the full $35 per month. Does changing credit card info or email for login negate the discount? I'm loving these questions. These are great. No, so you will have access to a Stripe payment portal where you can adjust and change your credit card. That's no problem whatsoever. The email is bound to your account and cannot be changed. There might be a technical way to do it, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to say change your email address that you use to log in. All right, so I'll show you when you go to comparehealth.ca, you would click on pricing. And then on pricing, this is what you'll see. So you'll see the same colors, starter and complete package. So here's the starter plan. You'll see the full pricing on here. There are different options for the complete package. If you do need more than 30 quotes in a month, let me know. We can work out a discount for that. But this is for the $35 a month. So let's say, for example, you want the complete package, the full meal deal. You would click Get Started at the bottom. Now you will see high volume needs here. This is the subname. You can ignore that. It's just the color that's the same, and the $35 per month in this case for the complete package. You would fill out this very simple form, make sure the email you enter is correct, accept the terms, and then on the next screen is where you would input your credit card details. You would see the payment plus the taxes, and then a box just underneath that says apply promo code. When you click that, a window opens, you would input the promo code. So in this case, because it's the complete package, you would input IDC package. It would apply the discount plus the taxes on here. Just a few quick tips. If you do want to register, and it sounds like some of you are interested, which makes me very excited, you can make sure to do your registration all at once. So that means the get started, the form, the payment, just do that all at once. Don't try to come back to it later, just to minimize any technical, bugs or issues or glitches that can happen with that. When you do submit your information, you're going to be getting a few different emails. One of them asks you to verify your email address. Please do verify it as soon as possible. It is time sensitive, and check your spam if you don't see it. It's just a button you have to click. Make sure when you're on the payment screen where you're inputting your credit card details, that's where you apply the promo code, and make sure it works. If it doesn't, let me know, but I've tested it. Everything should be working. Now, to set up a monthly subscription, I use Stripe, and the way that Stripe works, as far as I know, is it's going to charge your credit card twice and instantly reverse one of those payments. One of them is a validate payment of your card. So that one gets refunded. So the net amount is only one charge, but you're going to get this refund email. You can disregard it. I put it in the terms, but a lot of people seem to miss it. It is pretty small print, so I just wanted to mention it. There are some videos I've made that walk you through more in depth the platform, how to set it up. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to me, call, text, email, and here are my contact details on here. So this concludes the formal part of the presentation. I see lots of questions are coming in, so I'm going to stick around, hang out, answer them. But if this is something you would like to sign up for by the end of this week, go to comparehealth.ca and then go from there. So I will open this up. All right. So do you know if most companies have electronic applications? Yeah, good question. As far as I know, basically every provider, at least the ones that I have on here, do have the ability where you can apply without a paper application. And that also presents the opportunity for you getting your own broker link, and every provider might have different rules on it. But yeah, as far as I know, all of the providers on here do not require a paper application. And if not all of them, then a majority of them. So a question on the payment part. So here are the two different tiers. And depending on the tier that you want, if you just want a very basic access, not many quotes where you're having full control of it, that's the starter tier. And that one, both of them, you get 40% off. So this is the before and after pricing and making sure you apply the promo code during the registration and applying the right promo code.
Evan, can I just add to your last comment?
Yes, please do.
Just the IDC for advisors that do work in the group market. I think Evan's idea is a really good one, is that the complete package provides you with access to that personalized link, which you can then socialize with your employer clients. So when they have employees leaving their workplace and they're offering them conversion options, etc., for moving out of a group plan, they would be able to buy it directly through your link or get their quotes directly through your link, etc. So that's actually a good idea for group advisors. The complete package is a very good idea.
Perfect. Thanks, David. Okay. Edward asked, is contracting for health and dental different than a life code? So unfortunately, I don't have a quick answer for you on this one. Possibly, I don't know if IDC would be able to help out a lot more. I know sometimes it can be the same code across a provider's whole product suite. Sometimes it's different. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an easy black and white answer for you. Tracy asked, is this discount only valid until the end of this week? No. So this is for an indefinite period of time, Tracy. So obviously there's going to be check-ins that I'll be making with IDC just to talk about progress and how things are going. So yeah, this is for sure going to last longer till the end of this week. So you don't have to take advantage of it today or within the next couple days. It's for the foreseeable future. So great question. Francis asked, I know through experience and manually follow me makes changes across all contracts, existing and new. Is this outlined in your quoting system? If you could, I don't know if I fully understand that question, Francis. If you could let me know what you mean specifically, that would be great. Sorry, it's probably something that's just not jumping out at me. Vicky?
Yeah, from my end, I mean, just she's saying thank you, Vicky. That's awesome. But Evan, I think the question is what Manulife does is that they might have issued, X number of policies over the last 10 years on the individual side, and then comes a day where they make a change to their contract. That change to the contract retroactively applies to all the previously written individual health and dental plans. So the question that's being asked is, does your quoting tool let people know that while they might be buying and quoting on X, that even if they buy that policy at some future date, their contract is subject to change?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, with this application and using it, you always supplement it with any sort of provider documents or policies where that is outlined, because there's so many variables that take place about, if we make future changes, apply it retroactively. I don't know what that would look like or how it would change. So that's why I say, it's going to provide basic details similar to your plan comparison PDFs, but if you need more specific provider or product details, you would need to talk to the provider about that. So it doesn't go into that level of detail related to grandfathering or retroactively applying changes to past contracts.
All right. I don't think there are any more questions, or are there?
I'm just looking. Yeah, there's a couple here. If I move from starter to the complete, do I maintain the discount? No. So if you start with the starter at $12 a month and go to the complete package, you would be paying the full $35 per month. So as long as you maintain your existing tier, you get the discount. But any changes, upgrading, downgrading, canceling, and reinstating, you are losing out on the discount. Once a person decides on the plan they want, do you provide the link to the according website? So I do have generalized links where you click on the plan name, it'll redirect to the provider website. What you can do in this case, Heather, is you can actually add in your broker link if you want to. So it won't pull any info in from CompareHealth. It simply takes you to the finish line. So if you want to integrate your broker link for a particular provider, if you have one, you can absolutely do that. But yeah, any application would be done through the provider's website directly. It's not something that that is done internally within CompareHealth system. Some good questions here. I'm liking them.
I think, you know what, I think what we'll probably do is people are dropping off. I just want to say thank you again. I want to thank you for an outstanding presentation.
Oh, thank you.
No problem at all. You hit on every one of the points that were needed, and again, congratulations on producing an elegant solution for a complex problem. It's a niche product. Clearly, the advisors appreciated it, and so thanks so much, Evan. And we'll certainly collect any more questions that may come in. We'll communicate those with you, and we look forward to speaking to you as well and follow up to this as to what next steps might be. But advisors, please do reach out to Evan, reach out to your BDEs as well, to get more information if you're interested to sign up. Thanks so much, everybody.
Excellent. And I just saw a question come in from Edward. Is there a link that clients can contact advisor from the client portal? So great question. It automatically does it, Edward. So basically on the questionnaire, they would input their info, and then it says very clearly that your contact details are required in order to see the output. So in order to see it, they need to enter first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and then click submit. So you're notified instantly saying this person has completed the client quota. Here's the quote ID to access it in your account. Here's a link to conveniently get there. And then your client also gets one saying, thank you, your advisor will be in touch. Here's their contact info. So it would put your information as well with your phone number and email just to make the facilitating the conversations easier. So they'll be notified by email. Okay, so Francis, Francis asks, have you given consideration to providing a similar product that covers whole life, term, and UL products? Great question. There is some big players in that space. So I don't have any consideration to do that just because I think there's some fantastic solutions out there for those products. Now, one thing I might consider down the road, I mean, this isn't anytime soon, so I don't want to make promises, but something complementary to personal health insurance would be like travel, visitor to Canada coverage. Might look at integrating that, but yeah, it wouldn't be any time soon, maybe end of 2024, but yeah, I don't have any set timeline on that. Oh, and you're very welcome, Heather. Thank you so much for your kind words. And Svetlana, your question about a trial, no, unfortunately, I don't offer a free trial or anything. It's something, that's why I keep it month by month as well. Just make sure that the commitment is minimal. You're not paying an annual amount if it's not really something that's for you. So thanks for asking that question. All right, I will. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Francis. Promo code. Oh, good timing. Let's take a look here. So I'll show you the promo code. So here are the promo codes. So depending on the tier that you pick, this is the promo code that you would apply. So it's just taking IDC and then adding the info on there. So I think David will probably mention it'll be sent afterwards as well, just so people have all the info.